Good morning, guys. Everything new under the sun. Some updates on Israel. Russia and China think war is coming with the United States, and California is hit by 39 quakes. Is that prophetic? Does that have anything to do with the peace plan, maybe that the U.S. is pushing and will be pushed after the midterm elections? And if not by the U.S., Macron, will he present the peace plan? I want to talk about these topics in today's video. This is kind of a bunch of videos together, but I don't want, I try not to do 4-minute videos. I'm trying to do a little bit longer videos for you guys so you don't have to be flipping between them. But this is one article, jewsnews.co.il. The cell phone of Iranian president has been bugged, terrifying the leaders of Iran, and all signs point to Israel. So what is Iran's retaliation? Well, I spoke of StuxNet 2.0, and Al Jazeera is reporting that Iran has neutralized a new version of StuxNet virus, a computer virus reportedly created by the U.S. and Israel. Have they neutralized it, and how much damage has it done? How much information has the IDF, the cyber attack department of Israel's military? How much information have they recovered from that? We know that they've broken into Iranian networks before and got all sorts of nuclear documentation. So how much have they gotten from this StuxNet 2.0? Rouhani's cell phone was reportedly recently bugged by an unknown party. Of course, that would very most likely be U.S. Israel. Al Jazeera. ISNA's report carried by Al Jazeera cited Brigadier General Gholam Reza Jalali, who said the phone would be replaced with a more secure device. I don't know what that would be because no device is secure. Al Jazeera reported Iran neutralized a new version of StuxNet. We recently discovered a new generation of StuxNet, which consisted of several parts, and it was trying to enter our systems, and I suspect that it did enter systems. I'd be surprised if they completely stopped it. I'd be very surprised. The virus is thought to have crippled Iran's quest for nuclear capabilities in 2010, hacking thousands of centrifuges. Jalali did not provide details of who was behind the bugging or if any information was taken. I suggest that it was. So this is a situation where, what is Iran going to do about it? Are they going to retaliate? Are they going to do something? I'm sure they have good indication of who it was. They're not stupid. But just how much information was taken from this, and does this prompt Iran to say, look, Russia, you're our ally, Israel has basically declared war electronically on us, let's go to war and invade Israel, let's go to war against Israel, and you know what that is? That is Ezekiel 38:39. That is Gog Magog marching down on Israel. This is another hook in the jaw, and Iran really hasn't retaliated in any strong form. I think they're waiting until they have either a nuclear device from North Korea or some power situation. They're waiting for some power situation because I'm surprised they haven't simply declared war on Israel and started dropping conventional weapons. Probably they know that Israel would wipe them out because Israel has nuclear devices and Iran does not at this point in time. So it's interesting that they haven't retaliated, but all these things are building, and they're very embarrassed. Look at this one. This is from the dailysheeple.com. Russia and China are apparently both under the impression that war with the United States is coming. Well, what's this about? Could it be possible that the U.S. is heading for a major war? I think an economic collapse is coming. I don't think the U.S. will be a part of any major war. If the economic collapse didn't happen, maybe they would be, but there is no United States in end-time Bible prophecy outside of the young lions of Tarshish, which could be a reference to them in Ezekiel 38. If you ask most Americans, they question you as if you're crazy. Most people in the country, war with Russia or China is not something even remotely concerned about. But the Russians and Chinese both see things very differently, as you will see. Russia and China both seem to be under the impression that war with the United States is coming. I'm going to put the link in the description. You can read it. But and I've read these comments before on different articles. Russian official Andrei Belousov boldly declared that Russia is preparing for war. He said recently at a meeting, the United States said that Russia is preparing for war. And he says, yes, Russia is preparing for war. I have confirmed it. So you have confirmations. You have China telling their military to get ready for war. You have Russia saying we are preparing for war. I mean, I don't know what more you need. This is coming out of the country's politicians themselves, people in leadership, military. This is coming out of their words that they are preparing for war. So in terms of proof that these countries are getting ready for it, I don't know what else you need. There's also suggestions that Russia has an asymmetrical warfare planned, including missiles and EMP blasts and nuclear weapons shipped around the continental United States, ready for an asymmetrical war. So not conventional weapons, not conventional bombing overflights and these sorts of things, but weapons dispersed around the United States, and not only that, but EMP, which China and Russia probably know is kind of the best way to take the United States out of being a world power, and so you don't even have to fire a bullet. All you have to do is fire an EMP weapon above the continental United States, taking out the electrical grid, and you would immediately, literally in a sort of a way, hit the U.S. and move them back into the Dark Ages, taking the technology out from under the feet of North America would render basically everything useless. Your car would be useless. If it fries the computer circuits in your car, you wouldn't be able to drive anywhere. There wouldn't be food moving to grocery stores. It would be a Mad Max scenario. You wouldn't be able to communicate, because we communicate with microchips these days and electronic systems. If you don't have electricity and you have electronic chips that are blown by an EMP blast, you basically have crashed the economy. And I think Russia and China know this. They are biding their time, and this, I think, will be their main point of warfare should the next war occur. And I think they're ready for it. They have weapons, not on the ground, but under the ocean, if you will, on submarines, on cargo ships on the way. An interesting video by John Haller. He showed a video where China maybe had warheads in shipping containers, shipping in and around the United States for potential deployment. I don't know how true that was, but it's certainly a possibility. So these things are coming. How else could the United States and North America be taken out from being a world superpower? How else could a economic collapse be triggered? Well, check this one out. This is from ZeroHedge.com, and this is just recent breaking news. California hit by 39 quakes in 24 hours, and scientists are warning of movement along the San Andreas Fault. Now, you have some people who have prophecies of California basically being washed into the sea, possibly by way of the San Andreas Fault. And this is significant. What happens when Trump declares his and presents his peace plan? I think we're going to see some significant environmental damage, massive damage on a massive scale, and it could be the San Andreas that is literally winding itself up for the revealing of the peace plan, because anybody who tries to cut Jerusalem in pieces will be cut in pieces themselves. That's straight out of the Bible. And every time the U.S. tries to present a peace plan, tries to divide Israel, destruction comes upon them. Natural destruction, and I believe it's from a supernatural source. And you can check out, I think it's Bill Koenig's book Eye to Eye, where he documents natural disasters and their timing related to the U.S. Creating some deal or something bad for Israel, basically, and intervening or getting themselves in a bad situation in terms of trying to convince Israel to give land for peace or something like this. And so natural disasters hit because God's judgment is coming on the U.S. for these sorts of things. And this happens to other nations as well that try and split up Jerusalem. In recent months, there has been an alarming amount of seismic activity all along the Ring of Fire, and there have been times when the number of global earthquakes has been way above normal. What does the Bible say is coming in the last days? Wars, rumors of wars, earthquakes in diverse places, famines, pestilences, violence, evil, all these things, and significantly in this case is the earthquakes in diverse places. And what will happen with the earthquakes? Well, they will increase in frequency and intensity, just like all the other things that are going to be happening in the last days. Pestilences will increase in frequency and intensity. Famines around the world will increase in frequency and intensity, and earthquakes will increase in frequency and intensity. And I think that's what we're seeing here. Could it be possible that this unusual seismic activity is leading up to something? And I believe it is. As you will see, experts are telling us that we are overdue for the big one to hit California. Now, if that happened, boy, that would kind of be the end of the world for the U.S. It would plunge the U.S. into recession, if not economic collapse at that point in time. A huge number of fruit and vegetables come from California. It says, when it does eventually strike, it could be far worse than most dare to imagine. The officials say that the shaking was caused by a movement along the San Andreas, so it's getting ready for something big. The danger is always there, and for California residents, the rattling that we witnessed Friday was a clear reminder of that fact. Let's see, is there anything answering here? When the big one does strike, it could potentially be far worse. It will plunge large parts of California into the sea instantly. And boy, that would absolutely trigger an economic collapse in the United States, who is stretched already with the hurricanes going through, billions of dollars in repair needed there, debt increasing substantially because of these. Because what happens when a hurricane goes through, everybody's got to take up more credit, and which is more debt to rebuild. And while this is a shot in the arm initially for the economy, the debt just grows ever steeper, ever more huge, and they're never going to pay this back. The U.S. will never pay this back. Economic collapse is going to happen, which will reset it, but reset it in a way that the world is changed forever, and we move into a new world's reserve currency, which is very, very likely going to be the one world government and the mark of the beast system described in Revelation 13. Guys, this is coming, and this is the trouble coming upon the world. Look out when this peace plan is revealed. Look out for what natural disasters occur. I think it's going to be a fascinating thing to watch, to see if this tradition, this sequence holds true to when the U.S. is trying to split up Jerusalem. Natural disaster comes, and I think this could be kind of the big one, because this seems like the big peace plan that's coming down the pipe. And so Trump's going to reveal that after the midterms, so it's going to be kind of an exciting November from that point of view to see what happens, because world events are increasing to the point where, boy, you can't deny that we are in the last days. I'll leave it there. I'll put the links in the description, guys. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Make sure you know the Lord Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. He's coming back soon. He died on a cross 2,000 years ago for my sin and your sin. He's coming back to judge the planet, but before that, some perilous times, some tribulation is going to come. We're going to see some hard times, and God's power is going to be revealed. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.